want to give you guys a heads up. These are not figures that I don't like or I hate or anything like that. I actually like all the figures on this list. But I refuse to put these figures in such a prestigious category as the honorable mention. My honorable mention, that would be me saying these figures just got beat out when they not even playing. You guys are on the bench. Take your jersey off. Now, the last figure on this list will be the most disappointing figure. So let us begin. Starting off the countdown, we're gonna start off with your Mafex Hush Poison Ivy. Now, this figure, she was like the bare minimum on what is considered a good, acceptable figure. I just did a review on her. I put a link for that in the description below. If they treated this figure like they treated that Mafex Gambit with the shade and accessories and stuff, she could have been the end-all, be-all Ivy, but they didn't. Now, while some might consider this a perfectly acceptable figure, this marks the beginning of me looking at Mafex with a keen eye, looking at the price compared to what they're actually offering. All right, Mafex, y'all better stop playing with me. At number 9 on the list, we have the Storm Collectibles Blue Mary. Now, this figure I was really hoping was going to scratch that itch. It's a lot of Blue Mary fans out here who's really hoping for some good representation. Now, unfortunately, I'm looking at Toon Chic Studio hoping after their Terry Bogard, they come with some heat with a Blue Mary that looks true to form. One thing I could never get used to with this figure is the shape of her face. It's like a marshmallow shape. I'm not sure why they decided it was a good idea to go for that look. But the other thing that I didn't like, the paint quality control, man. She's bleeding all over her torso. It's just like a horrible experience. It's got me afraid to move her. But my biggest gripe with this figure is the fact they did not put a swivel down there by the ankle. It's like that's the perfect section, perfect scope, or perfect cuts and stuff where you could have slipped one in there and they did not go for it. Honestly, that kind of hurts my feelings a little bit. Like, I mean, Storm Collectibles is one of my favorite companies. You know you needed a swivel right there. And they did not go for it. So that kind of killed it for me for this figure. So it could have been so much more than it was. Damn. At number 8 on the countdown, we have your SH Figure Arts Berserk Guts. And honestly, there are some mixed feelings about this figure. But me, I don't think this figure is actually that bad. I kind of like him. The only things, well, there are a couple things that I don't like about this figure, but the cape isn't one of them. I rather dig the cape, but his ankles are kind of loose. I think his legs are kind of funny in proportion to his upper body. Maybe it's too short. And like that other accessory that goes around his collar, I just kind of put that back in the box, as well as a sword because he can't hold it. I had to substitute a different model kit sword for it, which I might take out eventually. So getting a Guts figure that can't exactly hold the sword is like, I mean, it defeats the purpose. You might as well call him something else. That's not Guts, that's Fupa. And overall, the figure feels kind of fragile. They didn't put any paint on the satchel or the straps or anything. So this figure was definitely not worth the price. You definitely earned you a spot in the Spite Lockout Guts. At number 7 on the countdown, we have your SH Figure Arts Hell's Paradise Yamada Shigiri. I think I pronounced that right. And I wish these Hell's Paradise figures were so much better after their Gabby Morrow, who was a beast. That's undisputable. These other figures just don't have as much care into it. I think a soft pelvic area would have went really good with this figure, would have took her range to the next level. She doesn't have a really good ab crunch. I think maybe a soft cloth piece would have went good right there. And I might be ragging on this figure, but I actually do have more fun with her than I care to admit. But she just wasn't enough to make any type of official list. Bandai, bring your ass back here. At number 6 on the countdown, we have your SH Figure Arts Hell's Paradise SH Figure Arts Yazora. That's what I'm gonna call her. And I expected a whole bunch as the second supporting ninja in Hell's Paradise. I expected her to have that range. I thought she was gonna for sure move better than Sagiri, but it turns out, other than a thigh swivel, like she really doesn't move much better than Sagiri does. I think she also could have benefited from a soft pelvic area. She doesn't really come with any accessories that kind of showcase her abilities either. I mean, I guess I can't rag too hard about these figures given the price, but I do wish they would have spent a little bit more time on these ab crunches. At number 5 on the countdown, we have your SH Figure Arts Monkey D. Luffy. Damn. This figure fell so far from grace. This figure could have been so good. And generally speaking, this figure actually is pretty fun to play around with. But everybody knows the issue. I don't even have to rag on it. I don't even have to go too deep into detail with it. And in addition to the crappy range at his knees, Bandai really got to rethink the engineering for their hip joint. That peg that comes out into the leg, it's not working, man. This figure done got loose on me too. It's like, god damn, man, I don't even know what else to say. Into the Spite Lockout you shall go. If false advertisement was an action figure, what would it look like? For those of us that hopped on the SharkToys Tiffet train, we all share the same sentiment with this figure. From the way the promotional images look to the way she finally turned out, it's just a huge disappointment. I'll never make this mistake again. Next time I'm going to just look at other reviews and let everybody else make the mistake first. This figure could have been so good. That the face sculpt, I mean, there's nothing really to go into about that. It is bad. I don't know who that's supposed to represent. And then the other huge thing with this figure that I probably could have made up for if the face wasn't up to par is the ankles. She doesn't have really good ankles for a fighter, so this is definitely one of those figures that I would have felt no remorse about skipping out on. Coming in at number 3, we have America's favorite kid, Naruto from SH Figure Arts. And these guys right here, man, if this was an award show for giving out the most ingenious cutting corners, trying to make a profit way of producing action figures, it would definitely go to this kid, Naruto right here. Why would you put a screw in the thigh? I've never seen something like that done with an action figure. Just give you guys a tip, man, do not rock that thigh. It is not a ball joint right there. It's going to strip that groove and pop that joint off, and you'll be sad. And of course, my dumb ass had to go and get another one. Oh, you gotta get another one. Duh. At number 2 in the countdown, we have your Brain Arts Final Fantasy VII Cloud Strife, and I have no words to describe the level of intense frustration I have over the engineering for this guy's hip joints. I do have a review for him. I'll put a link for that in the description below. And it's such a souring experience, man. This is the main character, the most iconic character from any Final Fantasy series, the first version of it being released, and of course, Brain Arts was the only people that could bring it to us, and they give us this stuff. Honestly, it's such a sour experience because this figure could have been one of a kind if they would have just extended that barbell at his hip joint. Damn, such a shame. At the number 1 spot for the most disappointing action figure of 2023, I have to give it to this figure because I had such high hopes for this Trunks. I'm not even a huge fan of Dragon Ball. I don't collect their figures specifically because they don't move that good. And when I finally get my favorite character, he's a floppy mess. He's a floppy mess. I don't know what Bandai is doing over there. I don't know where y'all going, who y'all got to go to get it right. But man, please give us something better than this. This is such a huge letdown for this figure. And you know what made me even more mad? This figure got a reissue not too long after he was released. He went up on like Hobby Genki and Army, and I missed it. Hopefully Big Bad Toy Store gets rid of that inventory they currently had by that previous version, man, because I'm not going back down that road. And I'm sure a lot of people can agree to that after watching many reviews of this guy's hot mess. And I was never going to buy another Trunks figure again. So I guess I'm still on the hunt. But all right, y'all, that's my list for top 10 Spite Lockout figures of 2023. If you disagree with the list, thought something shouldn't have been on it that was, or something should have been on it that wasn't, feel free to let me know in the comment section below, or you can post your own list and I'll read and give a like. All right, y'all, that's the video. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.